it sounds like you guys understand the quizzes. At least you have a working knowledge of what they are. The optionality of them, hopefully, will become more comfortable with them. And this is, Dave, go, please.
So the idea is that it's not like 10 points for a quiz, it's however many quizzes you take going into that 100 points?
It's actually both, maybe. Here's the deal. Can you hold that question for 3 minutes?
Yes.
Let me get into the projects and the exams.
You told me 5 minutes.
I did. It's like that movie Snatch. I love it in sausages. Did we see Snatch? No. Okay, let's do it.
Oh my gosh.
It's the gorgeous sausage scene. It's that. 3 minutes, 5 minutes ago.
We're almost there.
I swear to God we are. Scrolls.
Shiny
The
scrolls.
projects, these guys are 25 points a pop. Now, you probably didn't notice them as we were scrolling through the schedule page. Let me just show you where they are real quick. They're already fixed and ready to upload and ready to start if you wanted to. So let me just show you where they are. First one's in week 3. It's called Basic Probability. Week 3. Next one is in week 6. It's called Joint Probability, which is one step up from Basic Probability when you put more than 2 things together, or 2 or more things together. Week 8 is called Simulations and Supercounting. Got some spreadsheets involved with that one. And week 10 is called Bayes Formula, without Bayes Formula, which is, it sounds ridiculous, but it'll make perfect sense once you start reading it. And this is where I really want my former students to kick in as far as the description of what these are. Projects are connected, but separate enough to live outside the scope of the class for any number of reasons. I'll give you the example of the first 2. The first 2 there are born out of what I seem to feel is a lack of a concise treatment of what probability means. What is probability? If I asked you to define probability right now, if you had me at 105, you could. But if you had me at 105, you couldn't, and that's to be expected because it's probability, part 1. Learn it here. A lot of students, when they got through a normal probability intro course taught in a normal probability textbook format, they still can't tell you what a probability is. They can tell you what the probability of, say, getting a royal flush is playing poker, but they can't explain to you what it means. They could calculate mathematically the probability, say, of rolling, let's make up a number here, 8 or 10 on a pair of dice, but they can't explain that to my 7-year-old when we're playing Monopoly with them. The reason I made those 2 projects standalone is because it focuses on 3 or 4 topics over and over again, which most textbooks, including this one, don't do. They take too much of a scattered buckshot approach, where I take a very approach like that. Not to be violent. So the projects are these standalone things. Now you'll notice every single one of those is already uploaded. So you can start into them right now. Not like this moment, but as soon as you want to. They're not due till week 3, week 6, week 8, and week 10. I would go in order. I wouldn't jump around because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it does make sense to go in order. But you can start them at any time. They're kind of tutorial. If you click on them, I'll take a look at one of them here.
You said the first one's week 3?
It is.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you that week 3 right now, Kansas. Thank you for that question. Basic probability. Boop. You click on it, it opens up as a PDF. I kind of wrote it as, it's one more of those open source ideas. I wrote it as a section of a textbook. So it kind of reads a little bit like that. I'm also Italian, and I type like I write, which is like an Italian. I ask a lot of questions in line. What do you think about this? And sometimes students go, I don't know. Why am I reading this? Because you just keep reading. And as you get through, there's examples, there's answers to those examples, okay? There's quite a few of them, actually. Some students then get tired and say, okay, what do I have to do? Now, I did take a picture back here. You know what you have to do when you see things that have the word points, something number of points next to it. So eventually, if you scroll down through this enough, past all the examples, you get to something that says points. Right here, 2 points each, 2 points each, 3 points, and so forth and so on. That's the stuff you're actually going to do and submit. That's the stuff you're going to do and then submit. The stuff that has points next to it. Some students jump right to that, and then if they get stuck, they go back up and look for help in the body. That's fine too. I'm not going to tell you how to learn. You can learn at your own speed. That make sense? That's what projects are. They're a little bit longer because of the reading component, but as far as the work goes, I wouldn't say they're 2.5 times more math work than a quiz. Kendra's agreeing with me. No, not at all. Good, good. And you don't need 3 weeks to do them. Although they're spaced roughly every 2.5, 3 weeks, you don't need 3 weeks to knock them out. It might take you 3 weeks to find a little bit of time you need, because I know you guys are busy. I understand that. You get sick, you got other responsibilities, you got work, you got music. Totally get that. It might take you a while to actually find the time to do it, but you can do it. Does that make sense? Ask me questions on that if you have them right now. If you're thinking of questions. Please.
Do you like create a Word document or something?
Thank you for asking that. Thank you for asking that. This is Linda. Linda, thank you. I failed to mention that with the quizzes and now the projects. I have a thing called Blackboard submission policy down here. The way you submit these is you got a couple different choices. You can create a Word document, you know, and you don't have to print that entire document out and scan it. You can. But one way to do it is just to make a Word document, number it 1, 1A, 2, 2A, 2B, 2C, and just type your solutions in. I've got some links here that show you, if you want, of course, if you want, you can use mathematical equation editors and things like that to put equations in if you need to, or graphs, when stats make graphs. That requires an upfront load on you guys time-wise to learn something, so I don't require that. I do teach you how to make some of those graphs as class goes on. We'll get to that when the time is right. You can also do a hybridized model where you, say, type up the words and draw in the equations if you want to do that. And then when you're done, take a cell phone picture and submit that document. I mean, everything's going to be submitted through Blackboard this term. It's the first time I've ever done this. I hate Blackboard. I'm not convinced I like Blackboard even now. But I wanted to do electronic submissions, and since you guys already know how to use Blackboard, I'll learn too. So everything except in-class quizzes, which we'll obviously do in class and you'll hand back to me on paper. I want to try it this term. We're going to see how it goes. I'm going to survey you guys at the end and see what you thought. Dave?
If I also hate Blackboard, could
Yes.
I bring in a physical copy?
No. No. Because that's even worse than everybody bringing physical copies. Then I got stuff in 2 places. I know. I don't like Blackboard, but we're only using Blackboard as a vehicle to upload a document. So all you're doing is you're going into Blackboard, clicking on the assessment submission link, and then uploading your document into Blackboard. You're not actually using Blackboard to do anything. You're only you're using it as an FTP uploader. Sorry, does that make you feel better, Dave? All you're doing. I was going to make you learn this program called Moodle, but I'm like, duh, they know Blackboard already. So all you're going to have to do is upload your document. Whether it's a handwritten document, neat, take a cell phone picture, send it to me, scan it, send it to me, type it up, send that to me, and then I'll make markup edits on that document and submit it back. I was going to use Moodle.
It's worse.
It's worse. Well, then I'm glad I didn't. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Candace.
So I ran into this once already that wasn't really clear. I was doing homework yesterday,
Yes.
and in Blackboard there
Yes.
is a place where you can attach a word.
Yes.
There's also a place where they have a box and you can actually just type it in right there. You don't want us using.
No, I just want you. That's why I actually put this guy right here.
So don't use their.
You're only
box.
going. This is why I love the fact that we're only using Blackboard for submissions. You can work on all these assessments outside of Blackboard. I want you to, actually. I want you to download the document, maybe type it in a separate window, like a Word document, or work it on paper.
Well,
And then when you're done, you scan it, you upload, and you only pull that. You're not putting
Okay.
no other boxes.
So no, what I do is sometimes I copy, like I do
Yes,
it in Word
don't do
and
that.
I'll copy and
Don't do
paste
that.
it into the box because I'm
Just
not really
attaching
sure.
a document.
Okay.
Just attaching a document. But we're not even really using Blackboard for what Blackboard is designed to
That's
do.
how most classes do it, so I don't know why they even offer that box right there. It doesn't
See,
make
that's the
sense.
thing, and I can't customize it. I can't make it. I can't make that box go
When I
away.
did my assignment yesterday in my other class, I just put it in both places because I wasn't really.
Other schools use that box.
I know, and I would too. Maybe if I cared enough to learn how to use it. I like the system I have, except for the submission now. What I'm going to do is either make a video or some kind of a 1, 2, 3 list to make sure that this video is very clear, but it was made by the school, so it doesn't look like my Blackboard site. I'll either make a video or a series of screenshots so you know exactly what to click and exactly where to upload. You'll get practice for Thursday when you do the website quiz, though, so that's good. I'll make sure to do it before today's over.
See, but I think I've done that video of them before, and it says that it depends on the instructor on
It does.
how you upload
It does. But that's why I'll make my customizable one so that you guys have an idea. I think you'll figure it out very quickly. Probably much more quicker than I will because I'm me. So, fair? Make sense though? Now, one more thing about the exams, and then I will get into your point question, Candace, which was great. Exams are twice a term. One in week 5 and one in that exam week, week 11. They are like, if you will, super quizzes. I mean, I don't know what else I don't know how else to describe them other than that. You guys can kick in if you want. It's a 100-point document. So think of it as 10 quizzes like in one place. It kind of was this big summative document and exercise series of questions that tries to tie everything in. Sometimes it's cohesive, sometimes it's disjointed, but they're all there. You have to do those as well. And they will be uploaded well in advance. The one that's due in week 5 will be uploaded no later than the beginning of week 3. It will not take you 2 weeks to do. It might take you 2 weeks to find the time to do it. Now, hopefully I'm speaking correctly there. But that's what the exams are. And I call them exams. They're not really exams, because where do you do them? outside of class. You can do them with friends, you can use Google as a resource, use other YouTube videos as a resource, you can use anything as a resource. But I call them exams because they kind of feel like that because they're 100 points versus 10. So a quiz is like a little tiny thing and an exam is a big thing. I mean, they're only called that because I don't know what else to call them. I don't want to make up new words.
So is the second one your final?
It's the second half of the course. I mean, it's not cumulative in that respect.
But it's what our final is to the school?
I guess so, because I make you show up in this room for like 10 minutes in that day.
Okay.
Even though you're submitting the exam before you get here that day. All the Blackboard submissions, FYI, and it's in here. It's in that page. All the submitted documents must be submitted before class that day, not by midnight that day. So if you have that quiz on Thursday, your class starts at 10:15. Your document must be uploaded by 10:15 that day. That's the one thing that's different. I used to do that with the handed-in documents too. You guys would hand stuff in class. You'd walk in and hand stuff in as you walked in class. I'm just keeping the theme of that, flavor of that. Okay? Just so you know, FYI. And you'll get used to that adjustment. I think that might be different than other classes, but you'll figure it out. Cool?
Yep.
So that's assessments. Now, because of Blackboard, and I don't fully understand Blackboard, the grading policy, if you try to use Blackboard to track your grades, is probably going to be goofy. Because the in-class quizzes aren't going to be in there. They're going to be in my Excel spreadsheet. And I'm not exactly sure what Blackboard is going to pull into its grade center. So I wouldn't use Blackboard's grade center. I will email you a weekly progress report. Just like I did last term for you guys. So if you're not getting a weekly progress report from me, it means either your email is blocking me or I've got the wrong email. So by Friday, if you don't have an email from me saying this is your progress report right now, if you don't get that, then send me an email, something's up. Okay? So you don't have to worry about keeping track of your grades. Well, I should say you should keep track of them. Just look at them in Blackboard. But as far as making sure you know how you're doing, I'll be letting you know once a week how you're doing in the course. I also let you know how many quizzes you have left to do. I do that at the big bold, I think, in the progress report. You have this many quizzes left to do, this many quizzes left to do. And I've noticed that's a good thing to do because it just shakes the cage a little bit and makes sure you guys understand that, oh God, I got 7 more to do and it's week 6. But even if you wait till that, I probably have enough for you to do. Please, and this, wait, Christy?
Yes.
Christy, go ahead.
So moving kind of ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you do like minus or plus on grades?
Just pluses, no minuses. Yeah, I want you guys to do well. Just plus. Oh, speaking of grades and numbers. So the quiz thing, the optional quiz thing. Suppose you did a minimum of 10 quizzes. 10 quizzes. There you are. 100 points. 4 projects, 100 points. 2 exams, 100 points each. Total of
400.
what percent are your quizzes?
10% of 100.
Well, what percent of your overall grade does your quizzes represent? 25%. 1 in 4 of every point is a quiz. 1 point is a quiz, 1 point is a project, and 2 points are exams of all the 400 points. Suppose you do more than 10 quizzes. What percentage of your grade is now made up of quiz scores? You don't have to give me the exact number because you can't. Just use inequality signs, greater than or less than. More than 25%, which means the individual components of the projects and the exams fall to less than a combined total of 75%. You see why students like doing more quizzes? It devalues the point contributions of the exams and the projects. It was a bigger deal, I think, when I still gave in-class exams. When I was still giving in-class exams, people had that math anxiety, that agita. So when I could explain to them, the more quizzes you do, the less the exams are worth. They were like, oh, I like this. Let's do a case scenario. Suppose you did 20 quizzes. Now, nobody's done it yet, I don't think, but suppose you do 20 quizzes, all right? That's 200 quiz points. That's now just the same as the exams. They went from being worth half what exams are worth to the same exams are worth. That makes sense? And exams went from being 50% of the grade and quizzes were only 25 to both being 40% of the grade. You see that? That's an extreme case. But somewhere between 25 and 40% is where most people live as far as the contributions of the quizzes. Is this a good thing? Mm-hmm. I think it is. I think it is. It seems to be a good thing in most cases. So, I'm sorry it took me an extra half an hour to get to your 3-minute question, I get, but that's what I want to do, Candace. Please, let me go ahead. Or
Unless
listen.
you do 20 of the quizzes and you fall.
Yes, but statistically, is that going to happen?
No, because the lowest people were getting was 7.
This was it's a very good question. Elizabeth has got a very good question, and Candace has a very good retort. The question is, suppose you turn in 20 quizzes and you bomb them all. Absolutely, that would be detrimental to your grade, but that's not happening. And it won't happen with you guys. Don't prove me wrong. So happy.
Didn't you pull this from a 105 class though?
I pulled it from 105, 243, and 244.
All right.
It's every single student I had in spring. One class of each of those.
So nobody
Yeah.
average grades on exams.
I can get those for you. I can get those for you. I don't have the actual exams broken down outside of the projects. I can happily email me to
Just
remind me.
because then the two would cross and you'd be like, well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. We can break that out. We can. Data mining, it's wonderful stuff.
Okay.
It's cool to look at actually.
I just want to add to like the classmates. You guys are worried about these quizzes. If you have the attention span, I don't even have attention span. I'm shiny squirrels. But if you take the time to do the quiz, and there's so many other resources out there, you will either get a 9 or a 10. If you just don't turn it in, you're going to get a 0. You know?
Well,
That's-
if you don't turn it in, it doesn't count against you.
It doesn't count against you.
If you
but-
turn it in crappy, you might get a 0.
Yeah, if you don't put any time and effort into it.
No, you won't get anything less than a
There's-
7.
Well,
Yeah.
on average.
Yeah, so, and even if you do bad, he'll tell you, be like, oh no, you upgraded, like, because I bombed a test.
Then I do have a thing called Rated A Coupon that allows you to fix, I think I mentioned this to Christy, one quiz you can fix and get a 10 on. But Katie said something very important in there. As long as you read and take the time to do the assessment. This goes without saying across all my assessments. If you read and take the time to read them, I labor over the language I use in these things. I labor. I get so pissed when there's a typo, but I'm more pissed when I confuse people. Now, I make a lot of new assessments every term, so I'm sticking my neck out there by constantly trying to update things and keep it new. But it's better for you because it's more relevant to your lives. But you have to take the time to read what I'm
It's not
explaining.
like it's a 5-hour quiz. It shouldn't take you more than like 25, 30 minutes on a quiz.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not putting you in the spot, but just throw that in there with your guys' opinion. If you had me for class before. Yeah, they're not going to bury you. And if you're working together, all the more power because you're trade emails today if you can.
No.
Please, Rachel, go ahead.
Are they timed, any of them?
No, these are all outside of class.
Right.
Oh, they're not in. The only thing you use in Blackboard for is to suck that document up into the server.
When you're doing the quizzes or the exams, are they just on a timer?
No. This is like, I can't click on the exam right now because it's not public yet, but if you click on the project, all that project is a PDF document.
So like, could you go back to it, like pause your exam and go back to it later?
You're thinking too literally Blackboard.
Oh, okay.
This is, you're not in Blackboard until you're ready to put your document onto Blackboard.
Is the
You're doing this, think about doing normal math homework, not computerized
Are
math
the
homework.
exams on Blackboard? I don't even think of Blackboard, I'm just asking.
Oh, no. Think of like a normal math class, sitting down doing homework for a normal math class. Take a pencil, your paper, and you're writing stuff down. That's all the same if you want to keep doing it that way. Drawing your graph, write your sentences. The only difference is when you're done doing that, how you give that to me. Here, you have to take a picture or scan it and then upload it to Blackboard. That's it. And I'm gonna make you a video or a document that shows you how to do this. That goes off the video better. There's no time limit. Except for the due date. There's a due date by which it can't be turned in any later, but there's no timer that's keeping track of it.
I'll ask you.
Okay, I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding you. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. But the only timer is at the start of class when things are due, the assessment submission link disappears, which means you can't turn anything in late. Does that make sense? So that quiz that's due on Thursday, as soon as class starts on Thursday, that link is gone, and you can't submit it anymore. Go ahead, Kristen.
So when do all these quizzes show up?
At least a week ahead of time. Usually, as I upload the quiz, I'll upload the assessment. So, for example, for next week, I've got some good ideas for next week already. Probably this afternoon around 4 o'clock, I'm going to type them up, make PDFs, put them online. At the same time, I'll put the Blackboard assessment submission link in there too. So just keep checking the schedule page. That's what I'm kind of harping at. Keep checking that schedule page. You'll see things keep showing up and their due dates.
So it's not like you post all your quizzes?
I can't, because as Tom said before, I don't know exactly what we're going to be doing on any given day.
Right.
I have to wait till about a week before to know where we're going to be there and then make it timely. Is that fair? Kind of makes sense.
Are you pretty quick at returning emails if we have a question while we're
Yeah,
doing
oh,
homework?
absolutely, for sure. Email's probably the best way to get in touch with me. Go ahead, Kate.
So, for like the first quiz, is the first quiz posted?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
because
it.
maybe they can see it that way.
I think so. I mean, this might help. So if we go to the first quiz, which is this website's quiz. Okay, so this is the only one right now that's hyperlinked. The only quiz that's hyperlinked. If you click on that,
That's not our class.
actually it's okay because this first one is the same quiz for every class.
Oh.
It's okay though. It won't. Other than the first quiz, it doesn't do that anymore. It's called Getting Around the Class website. I'm not going to give you a math quiz for Thursday. You just got here. Okay, that's a total bastard move. So what I've done is, instead of making you do a math quiz, I have a quiz that's actually based on the rules and hints page of the website. If you were to click on that,
Seriously.
if you were to click on that, it's wordy. It's like a Ten Commandments kind of page. And I don't want to read it to you because it's got frowny faces. It's the stuff that you think about in the syllabus. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not. That kind of stuff. I don't want to read that to you. But I do want you to understand it. Now, those of you that had me last term, you had one similar. I did have to change a bunch of questions because of the Blackboard components. You have to go back and read it actually. You can't just submit the quiz from last term. So the very first one, you can submit an assessment in Blackboard at any old time for full credit. Okay? Now, you know the answer to that already by talking today. Okay? I will answer, or let's go down there. You can expect me to be in my office at any time of day. In fact, be upset if to stop by and I'm not there. All these questions are answered with rigor on that page I'm pointing you to. Some of them are not as obvious. They're not as obvious. Questions on assessments that have the W symbol next to them need to have supporting work shown or no credit will be given. True. That's probably obvious in your mind, but you can read the page and it'll solidify. Like, okay, that's what I thought you meant by that, but that's where it explains it. So all these are true, false questions. Let's talk about submitting this. This is a great question, right? How are you going to submit this quiz to me? Oh. Go ahead, help me out, Katie.
Can I just copy everything and then circle it, scan it, and then upload it into Blackboard?
So what you're saying is print this page.
Yeah. Well, not print
No,
it.
copy and paste.
Oh, copy and paste.
Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it onto Word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then
like
print it, maybe, or yeah, maybe.
Oh, and then print it, and then circle true, false, true, false.
Or highlight it.
Or highlight.
Or highlight it, and then where do we take?
So-
is there a link for Blackboard?
When you go into Blackboard, who's been in Blackboard today? Did you see the link where you could assess? There is a link in there called 243 Assessment Submissions. I will promise a document that explains all
So
this
we
to you.
have to sign in for Blackboard. We can't go from
Yes.
Can I just
That's-
put 1T, 2F?
Yes. Yes.
4F?
That's what I'm saying. You have choices. You don't have to print this and circle. You could also open a Word document. 1T, 2F, 3F.
I like that a lot
with
better.
a smiley face.
That's fine. You can if you want to. And then you upload that. I'm going to be grading it in Blackboard using the assessment markup tool, which means I'll put little comments with little arrows pointing to it. Or so they tell me I can do that. We'll find out soon. Chrissy, go!
Okay, so I'm just a little confused. Are you posting like quizzes after every class so we can get those?
Almost every week you'll have them posted.
Like a couple though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Right now I just have the one quiz placeholder and all of those. You're probably going to have a couple posted almost every week.
Oh.
I mean, actually, I can guarantee you have at least a couple posted every week. So don't be confused. What you're thinking about is correct. Yeah, Candace, go ahead.
In this, it kind of looks like U is us and I is you.
You is us. Yes, that is
When
correct.
you were saying this
yes,
in here,
I
U
and
is
I
referring
did
to
I mention that in
us
the quiz?
and I is referring to you.
Yes, it is implied that I, Sean, am speaking.
Started reading through it a little bit. It's confusing.
That's okay. It's right there.
I didn't read the directions. I don't read them much.
Damn it! Didn't I
You
tell you to read
should. Just jump
directions?
right in. Nursing. Come on. Yeah. Read the fine print.
Kate
Nursing.
told you that. Read. You will learn how to read.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nursing, yeah.
You will learn.
Sign the dotted line. Hell no.
You'll figure this out very quickly. I understand a little bit of trepidation. I totally get it. The trepidation is natural. I'm also feeling it because I've never used Blackboard before, and this is a stretch for me. We might can this halfway through. You know what the hell with this? We're bringing printed copies. Let's try it for a while. Let's try it for a while. Because I think it's going to be an upgrade. I've just got to see. Many times I feel this way, and things become upgrades, even though I feel this way at the beginning. We're going to give it a shot. Go ahead, Kate.
Can we vote at the end of the term?
Oh, you're definitely going to go at the end of the term.
Yeah.
I'm going to survey you and have you, if it works for you, if you would like to have the. I want to know that, but I want to try it first just to see.
It's going to
'Cause you
save
can't-
on a lot
you
of
can't-
paper and ink. And
You can't say you don't like something until you've tried it.
Right.
But if we try it, then we can be like, okay, it would have been better with physical copies. So we'll get to that.
It's going to
So
save
this
so
is that
much on
quiz.
paper and ink and everything.
For sure that. And it makes it easier to keep track of my ever-growing classes too, which is nice. So that's quizzes, and every quiz will be like that. And Chrissy, to put you at ease again, you'll see them every week, you'll see them every week. Keep showing up, for sure. Okay.
I was struck by that in carrying cell phone.
You'll also understand, don't worry about it, we'll get to that. You'll also see in red, that a lot of times in red on projects and exams, I'll give you answers. That's because I want you to have an idea of what the answer is. You have to show me how to get to it. And we'll mention all this, like I said, in turn. I'm trying to set this up to make it as easy as possible for you guys to succeed. I know it doesn't seem like that because it seems so different, but I'm trying to give you every tool at your disposal so you can kick as much ass as possible in here. That's all I'm after. Everything else on the syllabus is fairly straightforward. The enrichment page